Welcome to this game development tutorial of GDevelop 5. So let's continue with our game. So last time we added a stage selector screen, and this is working well. We have you know written the code. So before doing anything here, I would like to do something. We set the global variable total number of ghosts on screen as a global variable, but I would like to set it as a screen variable because it will be different for different screens. So let it be here, cancel it, and go to screens. We have to do it in both the scenes, not screens, scenes. We have to do it in both the scenes. So edit scene variables. We have number of ghosts on screen here, and we have to add total number of ghosts on screen. Total number of ghosts on screen, and for stage 1 it will be 3 live, and for stage 2 let's make it 5. Is 5. And now we also have to change it inside their code. We have mentioned to use the global variable total number of ghosts on screen, but now we have to change it and make it so it uses the scene variable. So we are doing this so that our scenes, our stages become modular, and if you have to create a new stage, you don't have to go into the code and edit the code, right? So that's why we are doing that. And where is it being checked? Here it is. So I've got a new update on GDevelop, it seems, but I will keep working on this version only. And yeah, there we have checked global variable number of ghosts on screen is less than global variable total number of ghosts on screen, which should be a scene variable. And let me check if we have used it anywhere else or not. Doesn't look like we have, so it's only here. So click on it, and in value to compare, go here and go to screen, not screen, sorry, scene variable, value of a scene variable, and scene is this scene total number of ghosts on screen, apply, right? So that should work. And let's do the same in the second stage as well. Go here and go here, and variables, value of a scene variable, apply, remove the old one, and there it is. It should work now. So let's test it out if it is working properly or not. It is working because we saw 5 ghosts. So it's working. It must be working on stage 1 also. We will not check that. It must be working. So now go to stage selector. And right now we have only two stages, two areas. What if we have more than two areas? Then it will not be contained within this small space. We will need some extra space to show these. So we will need something which scrolls, a scrollable area. So how do you do that? And you can do it very easily. So let me show you. There are many ways basically, but you will have to put these icons, these buttons manually if you are adding stages, and you will have to put the code for the buttons manually, and you will have to put the stage unlock variable manually, right? So yeah, there's that. And right now I'm not going to add another area, but I will just show you how you can uh, basically add a scrolling system here, right? So that will be a good thing to know, because suppose you want to add 10 areas, it will not be contained within this. So let's or you can make it smaller, but in mobile phones small buttons are really bad for the player, because they won't be able to precisely touch that, because most likely they will play with their thumbs. So the thumb is big, pretty big, and it if it touches something small, it will overlap with something else and it won't work properly. So let's make a scrolling effect. I have a behavior. Let me double click on it. This I will add a behavior. I will see if it works or not. I don't think it would work that way. What I will do now is that take this black screen which we had, and then extend it a little bit here, a little bit, right? There it is. That's good. And now we need to add some little arrow keys, arrow buttons, which we will put at the bottom. And to make space for that, just select this, select this, select this, select this, and just move it up there a little bit. Oops, I forgot to select the area text. Select this, select this, select this text, select this, select this, select this, and then move them a little bit up, so that we have space for some arrow buttons at the bottom. And now let's make the arrow buttons. So you can do it this way. Click on the plus, right, and type right arrow. This is the right arrow. Animation default. Add. Oh, sorry, not add. Edit with Pascal. Resize it for and crop tool. Somewhat yellowish something, and just make us so. Or should I pick light? Yeah, this looks okay. I guess. And it was 32 cross 32. Change it to something bigger. 100 precise. That better. Save and uh, add one more. Add one more. Duplicate it and then delete it. when you duplicate it, it creates a file. Save. And we can then use that file for our next animation, which is a uh, active add 100 cross 100, 100 cross 100. So we will choose this one, the new one, open, and we will edit it with Piskel, and we will choose the color, this one. We'll pick it and we will choose a light shade of this color and paint it in and save. But you see that it painted that one also. So I think I chose the wrong image file. So now edit this one, because we have to over here, just add the darker shade, this one, and then edit, and then delete this one. Save. Kind of fiddly little, but that's how you can do it. Apply and then bring it over here. Right, so it looks okay, maybe, I guess. Or will it look better over here? No, it's looking better here. And now you have to make a left arrow. Or can I just duplicate it and then turn it around? Can I do that? Let me try doing that. Duplicate and I call it left arrow, and I double click on it and then go to edit with Piskel. Can I flip it down? Oh yeah, I can. There it is. It got flipped. I can rotate. I can align image to center. That's good. It's flipped, and flip this one also. Just flip it. Save. But both of them got flipped. What is this craziness? Why did this one also get flipped? So, what should we do? How to fix that? Why did it get flipped? And it looks like the right itself changed. Okay, then scale again, but not here. Uh, Go to left arrow with Piskel, and now duplicate. After duplication, flip it, flip it, and then delete it. Save here. Duplicate, flip, and then delete, and then and then apply. And now go here, and now click on add. Go all the way. Choose this one, oldest one, and go to Piskel, this one, flip it, and, and see if it flips. Oh yeah, that's better. And then go to here and I wonder if it is this one or not. Delete this. and double click to check. But it's the active one.png. I should have chosen the other one, the default one. Now I will choose it for the left arrow, the default one. Default, open, and edit with Piskel. Delete that one and save and apply. Hopefully it's in the same direction. So it's kind of fiddly working with Piskel, but that's all we have right now. Left arrow. This is a left. This is to go right. And I do believe it will look better in the middle. So just click this, select this using shift key and drag it down, and then put this here and then put this. There you go. It's looking a little bit better than before. So now what we have to do is we have to check if we have more than two stages. So and how to do that, we need to have a variable called total number of stages. Yeah. So click on add total number of stages. Right now it is 2, but I will say 3 because I want to show you how to. I will say it is 3, yeah, because I want to show you how you can add the scrolling effect. And to just to demonstrate, let me have 5 stages, but I will not actually add them. I will just type 5 here. It will just emulate that I have 5 stages. What I will do is, let me see if I can copy that. I can copy and paste. Wow. Copy paste. Wow. I will now copy and then here I will paste. And I will just put it about here, about the post. And then copy this, copy and paste. Put it here, around here. You can use arrow keys for precise positioning. So there it is. A little bit upward will be. And for this one, don't copy that. Put it again, or you can copy it. I guess just do it then. Copy this one. Copy both of them. Copy and then paste, or don't. No, do it. Do it. This one is a little bit below this. Put that, bring that to the same height. Yeah. This one too. Yeah. So and then extend it a little bit because we have 5 stages. And then copy this one again. Copy and paste. And just select all of them and bring it here. And also bring these. Copy and paste. Oops. Copy and paste. And now you can tell right off the bat that you won't need this arrow, because there is no stage beyond that, so just delete it. And you can tell right off the bat that you don't need this arrow either, because there is no stage before that, so just delete that. Just delete it. And now uh, we have 5 stages, and in each screen we have 2 stages. So now we need to know how many times should we shift our camera to the right or to the left. How many times should our camera shift? Is it 5 times? No, it is 3 times. So how do we get 3 from that? Like it may be 100 stages. We won't always stack it up and then find out that, oh, it's 100. No. What we do is that we need to, like if I have 5 areas, you can divide 5 by 2, and that will give you 2.5, and then you can use ceiling of that, ceiling, right? Because why ceiling? Because even if we have one extra area, we cannot afford, we have to go there, right? We have to go there. If we get some fraction, which that will mean that uh, we have an odd number of areas, right? So we have to, actually, even for one area, we have to shift our camera to the right or to the left, right? So uh, number of areas divided by 2, ceiling. So that will be the number of times our camera should be allowed to move right, to the right, and to the left it will just calculate how many times it has moved to the right, and then if you want to go back, we can only go back the same number of times, right? And not more. So let's code that. It's not very difficult to do. I hope it's not difficult to do. Let's see. Wait. And now add a condition. Should I add a comment? So far we have not added any comment, and it is a good practice. It's not good idea to not add comments. So far we didn't add any comments, and it will be very, cumbersome to write them now. But for this activity, let's write some comment. Add a comment. I will shift it up, and I will just type code for scrolling the screen to view more areas. That's good. So just add a condition. What is the condition? That condition is when our mouse clicks on this arrow. Add condition. Arrow was clicked. Mouse button release. Yeah, left button. And then add another condition. Collision. Point inside object. Object is right arrow. X point is mouse cursor. Layer is default layer. And Y point is again mouse cursor. Layer is default layer. OK. Right arrow. If I click on right arrow, what will happen? So if right arrow doesn't exist in the scene, we won't click on it at all. So we don't have to check whether it exists. If right arrow exists, then we know there is something beyond it. So we will move the camera a certain number of pixels to the right. So cameras camera effect, I will just move it, like change the position, set value. The value should be okay, and let me see what X position of camera is over there. So to check X position or Y, to check the position of any point on GDevelop on your screen, you can just bring the mouse to that point almost in the middle and then look at the bottom. You can just this text which you can see, this tells you the position of any point on the screen. So I will bring my mouse here and I see 1155 comma 699, 1155 X position, 699 Y position. So now let's set that for the camera. Where is the camera? 1155 layer, base layer, camera default 0, and change the Y position as well, 699 layer, base layer, camera default camera. Okay, so that's what we have done. Let's see if it works. Okay, play. I hope it does. Play. So it works, uh, and this will also work. No, but it will bring it back to this one. And now it works. Okay, here we have to edit the position of our arrows, right? So that we will do that. And so we let me just do that using my arrow key. What I have noticed right off the bat is that we cannot put the position, exact position. We need to put some offset. So to do that, we first need to know what is the camera's original position. And I think it's I don't know. It may be half of 720, which is I believe 360 is half of 720, right? So yeah, it is 360. So the current X position of camera should be 360 and the current Y position of the camera should be, I believe it's around 640 cross 360. This is the current position, I think. And the new position is, which we have seen just approximated, it was 1155 cos 699, right? So very quickly I will bring up some calculations here. So I will now bring up my calculator. So our starting position is half of 1280, which is 640, okay, which is actually the Y position, and our X position is 720 half, and that is 360 X position. And our new position, which we think, which we have just approximated, is new position is 1155, right, for the X, I believe. Yeah, for the X position, right? And so if I subtract 360 from 1155, what will happen? I will get an offset of 795. So the position of camera is being incremented 795 pixels so that it goes to the next screen, to the next set of stage selectors, stage selection buttons. So that's what it is, 795. Now let us change the exposition like this, plus, and let us not put this, let us put 795 base layer for X position, and for Y position this is the Y position 640. Y position will not change at all. We don't need to change the Y position, so just delete that, right? Because we are not moving the camera up and down, we're just moving it left to right and right to left, right? We just need to change the X position, and we did that. So just clear your calculator. You can, I think, yeah, it's okay. So now that's what we are doing, add 795, and when we will go to the towards the left, we will subtract 795. When we click on left arrow, we will just subtract 795. So let's see if it works or not. It's working, but it's kind of not centering properly, and therefore I believe what we should do is, first thing, this is kind of too far away. I believe you will have to, fiddle around with it and adjust it manually. I can't think of any better way to do it without making the code very cumbersome, right? So there's that, and right. So that's what I'm saying. Here we have 360 as the middle point. Here we just adding 795 and 795. I guess you will just have to, you know, fiddle around a little bit with that, right? And let me just do it for the left arrow. So add a condition, mouse release left, and the position is, let's just copy that, copy and paste, and instead of right arrow just type left arrow, click on it, and change the exposition of camera. Just copy that code and paste it, and instead of add, choose subtract. So now it subtracts 795. So it's very simple. We don't even have to calculate how many times the camera should do it, because we are taking care of that manually over here. We will just not put the arrow where there is no screen left. We will just not put the arrow at all. Just play it and check. So there it is. It is a very simple and very, I mean, it's a very simple scrolling system which you can make easily if you have many areas, and you will have to configure it manually. I don't think there is any alternative to that, right? Or you can just add a very sophisticated scrolling effect where the camera is actually moving and it shows that the camera is moving. You can do that also. And once it has moved to the next area, it should center on something. Oh yeah, we can do one more thing. Let me tell you something more. Uh, but will it work? Hmm. No, let's not do that. This is okay. This is simple. It works. If if we do something more, it will become very difficult to work with. Let's not do that. So that's what it is. A scrolling system for the multiple stages. And this way we don't even need a variable to keep track of how many stages we have, because we are already telling it here. Right? We are manually making the scroll system. We are manually building the list. It's not being built for us dynamically. Although you can do it, but it will just make the code super complicated. Can do it if we have several areas and it's dynamic, it keeps adding, then you have to do it with code. But right now we don't need to do that. We just have two areas. So just go back to global variables and you can just delete this because we don't need it. Check box, check, put the check mark here and hit delete. Click on apply. You don't need that variable, so why waste space?